last time on the Great Ace Attorney. Mrs. Garradeb's wife.
Mrs. Garradeb's wife.
Mrs.
We're not a lady-to-lady couple.
Not in my Victorian England.
Next thing you'll say she's Scottish.
Top floor of Mr. and Mrs.
Wait
Garradeb's
a
house.
Whoa now, hang on a second.
If the rooms are rocking, don't come knocking. Am I right?
Good Lord, what sort of indecent counsel?
Indecent.
Incident.
Oh,
What is
my
indecent?
God, my brain. I don't. See, it says indecent. Yep, that's what it says. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions.
Oh dear.
Guilty.
Here we go again.
It's time for another prostimation.
These scales weren't meant to go back and forth so much.
In fact, they're only meant to go the way of the black way.
You'll work the screws out and then it'll all fall apart like an utter shambles.
And then the entire thing will set the whole Bally Court alight.
It'll be just like the scene with Mr. Garradeb and his maid.
Excuse me, boy.
We can slow. Can you say me? I'm on the telly.
I'm on the telly.
Oh my goodness, that's me.
I think she's drinking something stronger than tea
Yeah.
in there.
Hang on a second. You're not saying that my maid found her way out at the scene of the crime by throwing herself out of the window?
What, attached to the knife?
Oh no, I just he says the thing that found itself thrown out the window to the scene of the crime was
Dick
My
gumshoe.
wife.
it comes in.
All together now.
We'll have to re-oil the scales.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of strangling a live goat illustration in full view of the court gallery, but I am quite upset.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Disillusion Plays, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we play the game and do the voices.
It just feels like there's no way to say it that doesn't feel
The
weird.
annoying thing is, in my head it was fine, and then I opened my mouth and it went to crap. Anyway, on that note, I'm Sarah.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Taylor.
And
Nice.
if you like what we do, just before we get in, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell?
Yes. Why is my mouse on the screen?
I don't
Go
know.
away. I need to deal with that. I don't
Hello?
think. I'm pretty sure
I'm here.
it doesn't appear on the recording at all, but it just
I'm
annoys
here.
me that I can see it.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows.
The detail was not in the police report, Constable. That detail. Oh, yes. Sorry about that. I must have been a little bit drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir!
Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window?
Oh, thank goodness, we don't have to Google it. And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
Of course. Sorry. Mrs. Arrow, does your book have...
I'm already on it, Mr. Naruhodo.
For God's
I
sake!
found it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Inside her laminated book of dreams.
Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mr.
Mr. and Mr. Garrett. They're like a gay couple.
Last time it was Mrs. and Mrs. Garrett. Now it's Mr. and Mr.
The
Garrett.
return of the gay couple.
I'm just wanting equality, darling. I'm sorry.
No, well, I mean, of course. They were
goodness sake.
They were quite forward-thinking fellows.
Yes, I'm voicing the character. She's very forward-thinking. Oh, for goodness sake. Right. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garradeb's room.
All right, I'll try.
So,
Oh, there it is.
What on earth is that?
Is that garlic, do we think?
Oh, onions.
Oh, onions, yes.
Oh,
not
probably
garlic.
onions.
Clear, like, it's not white like garlic, but yeah, onions.
I mean, I'm
That's the
guessing
biggest
so.
garlic I've ever seen.
Well, it's the colour more than anything that's
I mean,
a
I'm
bit weird for
guessing it's a
garlic.
bunch of onions. Otherwise, it looks like a very weird set of profiteroles just floating in the air.
Yeah.
It looks very strange.
It does look like it's not attached to anything.
Yeah,
which is
It's not, yeah.
just
Okay.
floating.
Yep. Oh, I thought the teacup was balanced precariously on top of like the coffee pot then, but it is hung up.
Yeah,
There is
yeah, there's a hook.
It just looks really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house.
Oh, how convenient.
Oh.
Okay.
But as it is a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
The thing that amuses me is the fact that they add casement in there as well. They could say like it's hinged at the top, it's top hinged. That's fine. It's the fact that they're really like specific about it is a top hinged casement window. Like, what's the casement bit? Is for me. That's the bit that I'm not sure about.
It's really reminding me of like my nan's old windows.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
house
yeah,
because
yeah. Like-
you didn't see the holes, but they had them underneath. It was like solid bracket on the top, and then a hole that they slotted in to open out as like
I think-
you'd put it on whichever hole you wanted for like open wide or
Yeah.
not.
No, like when I was young, like again, we did have one which had the holes on the top
Oh,
as well.
did you?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, it is quite weird. Obviously nowadays they're just not like that at all.
No.
I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature.
There are two things
its
you must know about the casement window.
Stay. Is it stay? A metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. Beyond a certain amount.
It prevents it opening? This is all news to me.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
No.
You see the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. Now Mac OS. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife travelling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered. Something we've discounted already.
That can't.
Dr. B!
Did you see?
Bum, bum, bum.
Did you see that, Rolly? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Despair,
Yes.
if you will.
Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
Oh, only when I talk to you, Pat.
Oh. I know.
He's not rewinding time just yet.
How is this happening?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were vomiting.
Well, I mean, it could be either or, really.
I haven't even started the cross-examination yet.
Examination.
Already my argument.
Indeed.
Examen. The cross-examination yet. And already my argument's been destroyed.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again. The court awaits your cross-examination. No.
My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. It's almost as if this has become the hallmark of all of my court cases. It will also become the hallmark of my descendants' court cases.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garridon. Believe me, a London poppy is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garridon house are top-hinged casements.
Obviously, if anything would have been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
Yeah.
I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but
But my trusty Rowley was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
I most definitely did not take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to... Sorry, nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
The annoying thing is you pretend to yawn and I yawn for real.
Well,
It's like contagious.
Well, I mean, you say pretend, but I mean, you know, it's tiring work, this recording business. It's tiring work, this recording.
Oh dear.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. I had no right to speak out.
What do you mean?
I requested the cross-examination of Mrs. Garadeb without consulting you, even if the judge did deny me.
Oh, I see. Well, I agree with you.
I agree with you. You shouldn't have said anything.
We do need testimony from Mrs. Garadeb. If we're ever going to get to the truth of this matter.
Do you really think so?
Well, think about it. No matter how far it is across the road or how that window opens, Mr. Garadeb's book found its way to the scene of the crime somehow, didn't it?
You're right.
I know. And then there was Mrs. Garadeb's reaction to me showing her the knife. The woman's hiding something. I'm sure of it.
You're right again.
We need to use this cross-examination to uncover some clues. Or uncover more clues. We'll get to the bottom of this one way or another. I swear!
Yes.
Yes, to the bottom. It's all about the bottom.
Me, Khan, would agree with you.
How can you say that for certain?
Very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember.
To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good for his word.
Long suffering.
While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly, sir.
Oh, Rowley, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rowley!
Oh, my stomach. No, none of this is what I meant. Please stop. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've bought you a fresh bucket.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. I expect I'll be needing
I
it.
see. Oh, you should have said so earlier, sir.
Yes, well, so, could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yes?
I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and we uphold our guiding principles.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here.
So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Oh, I'm shedding tears, all right. Thank you. I'll try.
Oh, this isn't tears, this is sweat, because I'm sick of this case. And I'm
Constable.
getting in quite a pickle.
Constable Beate's warrant card.
Well, I've got a funny feeling that we might want to check the court record to see what those guiding principles
I have
are.
no idea what you mean. Item 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item number 2. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Item... Oh, hang on. Oh, principles... Okay. Metropolitan Police Regulator. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. And Item 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives.
But didn't he say it wasn't on his beat?
It was not on his beat. That's correct.
Oh, sorry, hang on. I've gone too far. You see, the top windows were casements. I don't know we would have seen it. I did leave and go, but he was rolling. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for a moment. Nothing strange. Do you think do we press all of it, or do we just jump into this one?
I think we need to... The thing is, the way that it's gone in the past is like, if we don't do it in order, then we'll miss something.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Hold it! By which you mean they don't open fully. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, I thought that was going to be it.
Yeah, same.
That's it. Just there to allow a little bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open.
Now, are the other windows also top-hinged casements?
Well, that is,
It looks like it's got one.
if they even open at all.
Yeah.
And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map.
Let me get my Sharpie.
Sharpie. Allow me to get my quill. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road.
Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top-hinged casement thing before?
I really like this phrase, don't they?
Yeah.
Top-hinged casement. Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
Oh yeah. What would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house is furnished with?
Oh, because I'm what you would call a knocker-upper, sir.
Sometimes I'll break in there for a little nappy, you see. It's hard wandering 20 miles every day. So I'll just pop in and rest my eyes for about 5 minutes.
See, I suspect he'll be a knocker-upper. I think that was the actual term
Yeah.
of like.
What?
So that's where they would go around and they would.
Yeah,
No, it is. It is. So.
Yeah, it was. They'd be like the alarm clock for people.
Yeah, they would wake people up for them to go to work. And if they,
It's not the
it was
knocker upper you're thinking.
Yeah,
of,
it's not-
Taylor.
it's not-
Get your mind out the gutter.
It's nothing to do with baking buns in ovens. But yeah, and so it was a paid service, and if you didn't subscribe to it, then, you know, you'd probably not manage to get to work, and then obviously you'd be screwed, mate.
Just like if you're not subscribed to our channel, you'll be missing out on the funny content that we post every week.
Funny content? Why? When do we post that?
Then maybe we should.
Yeah, sorry. Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. Aha!
No, you didn't.
But it's not on his beat.
Yeah.
Oh no, Pat! Don't you
Pat,
do it!
what are you doing?
Don't do
Pat?
it, Pat!
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beate?
Excuse me, princess.
Sorry?
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that that's not going to make me lose the contents of my stomach again?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Oh, so lucky, yeah. Oh, the music.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please.
Something tells me we're going to end up misunderstanding her.
Yeah.
But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rowley's Beat. It was so close, you see.
Yeah, it was pretty close, yeah.
Oh, I hadn't realised.
Oh yes, that street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rowley's Beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Oh, yeah.
Yoink. Constable Beate!
Oh no, wrong one. Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing of the occupants of the Garrideb household yesterday.
But he's not supposed.
Their house is on my beat, you see, sir.
That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something.
N-
If the Garrideb household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garrideb's house? Yes, Mum. The pavement on the side of that side of the road is part of my beat, indeed.
So then... I see. I was unaware of that.
So we've got to get that added to the testimony because he said he can only do something on his beat. So if it was on the other side of the road, it wouldn't be on his beat and he couldn't do anything. So maybe the woman was on that side of the road in reality and not the other. Or she's passed over to the other side, but...
Yeah. Oh, God.
Maybe...
Or Patricia dragged her over to the other side so that it didn't actually happen on Rowley's Beat.
Maybe. 'Cause I'm wondering then if obviously that side of Briar Road is his beat, then that she, like Mrs. Garrideb could have still thrown the knife, hit the pane, dropped down, splat on her.
Yeah. And
while
then,
she was picking up the book, potentially.
And then Pat moved her over.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Because it says in his handbook.
Because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to have their little romantic jaunt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they have to assist with the investigation if it occurs on their beat.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
You naughty pair, you.
Well, we'll soon see.
Yeah.
Just think, if the other woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal
there it
to
is.
celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies. Tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rowley for all his hard work.
And by the good Lord's work, I mean that I dragged the carcass of that woman across the street so we could have a nice dinner.
Don't you think so, my darling?
Oh, that must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record for no particular reason.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Okie dokie. It's just the pavement lies just outside of the middle of it. Okay.
And now it's my turn, I think.
So...
Oops, sorry. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. So if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. Huh.
We might need more information.
Yeah,
we need to have something added to the...
Yeah. Apart from a single stab wound, the assailant was seen running away. Wait, so what was added?
Pavement of Briar Road,
East side.
east side,
Okay.
presumably.
Alright, okay, so this is the one we haven't pressed, right? So.
Hold it! But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Oh, lucky star we were.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
No, the star will guide us to the little...
Mrs. Atto, ready the
The
bucket.
star that's going to guide us to the little baby Jesus in Bethlehem. Eternal happiness.
Oh dear.
You're right there, Taylor.
You've killed me, pal. Can't it guide you to answer the question, please, for the love of baby Jesus in Bethlehem?
If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it.
Yeah, me too, Pat, me too.
Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said.
Yeah.
3 times at least.
Yeah, maybe then I'll be able to actually get a bit of sleep and then I might actually be a little bit more coherent in conversations. Yeah. Well, of course. What with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any
So how can you
stars.
see something falling out of a window then?
Well, the stars are a bit further away than a window.
So,
But
depends how thick the fog is.
I mean, I'll give you...
They always go on, you can't see the hand in front of your face.
Well, I suppose, yeah. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir.
It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, why did she leave the scene? Isn't Rolly supposed to be doing that?
Hold it! Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer. Is that right?
It's like they dispense another officer out the police box. It's like...
Oh no, they're roomy. Oh no, they're
It's
roomy.
like they just like pop to sixpence in, and then it's like a bobby just like pong just appears outside. Hello, hello. Right then, what we got here then? What you doing? What's going on here then? It's like,
Oi, what's all this then?
oh dear me.
That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Rolly told me the way. Only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
I said to her, Pat, what you need to do is cross the road and then just follow it to the end there. But then once I told her to cross the road, she was like, oh, Rolly, I'm so lost. I can't see where I'm going on the opposite side of the road. It's not part of your beat. I don't know where I am.
You're so mean. There was some roadworks at the top of the road and I fell in the hole and everything.
Oh, no.
And then I couldn't get out, and then I got disorientated, and I can't remember where I was. The fog was so thick.
To be fair, I mean, that all does sound quite plausible. I was just implying that she, because it wasn't on his beat, across the road.
Replied that I'm
she'd get
stupid, weren't you?
Yeah, it is a little bit weird that it's like it's literally across the street, but then somehow she doesn't know.
Patricia, my darling, that is why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat!
Oh, Rolly!
Oh, my nausea. Oh, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, will you please stop being sick? I'm running out of buckets.
So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
Oh, it was soft duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir.
But
Hold it! Nothing to report.
Oh, no, sir. Nothing at all. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide shut the entire time. Never looked away for even a second.
Narrator's note, he probably looked away for at least a
For
second.
at least 20 minutes.
Well, at least
No.
40 winks.
No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I swear to that on the yard's honour, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange. Could you add that to the record, please? To your testimony, please, for no specific
I beg
reason.
your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garadeb household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hands of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as how you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Well, I mean...
Oh,
like,
sir.
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well?
Really?
Oh, aye. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand?
Did we look to see if we could open the book?
No. Well, yeah, we looked, but it wouldn't open. It's just literally the burn on the back.
Yeah, just that.
And that's it.
It's like literally on the front page it says, to John Garadeb,
Yeah.
or property of John Garadeb.
See, it's a book, I'm afraid. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
okay,
I've
okay.
heard that before.
Nope, no sense in opening
Nope.
it up.
Taylor read
Oh,
that.
sorry.
As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
No. Don't be silly. What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable.
Oh, it's very
Well,
sexist of you, sir, to be doubting my
wasn't
wife
trying to
just because
imply
she's
that.
a woman. If I could, I'd lock you up myself, but...
Have you ever been to Victorian Britain? Do you pay attention to it? Mr. Beate.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
Meow, 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 meow.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses. I don't want to hear it.
Oh,
My voice will be heard.
oh,
Oh, Pet, stop strangling me.
Please, no.
My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. Beate. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one.
That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that! That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's words counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir! I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't!
Duly noted, Mrs. Beate.
I just love that. My Rolly won't, and she's literally puppeting him while he's asleep.
Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
I don't know, Miss Susato, but I have a bad feeling about it.
I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Oh, I didn't take my eye off the scene. Yeah, that was...
Okay, so we've got to press that statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold it! Mrs. Beate, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
I saw it, I did. That evening I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene.
Unless he was actually slinking towards the scene because she got things mixed up.
And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction.
Oh, yes, well, it's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up in the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rowley. He gets ever so cross.
Oh, yes, a very, very grumpy policeman I can be.
Excuse me? Constable Beate, is there a problem?
Maybe so sometimes. It's quite annoying. No, sir. Oh, no problem, sir. No
Don't
problem,
make me
sir.
say it in public, sir. My wife, she'll beat me senseless as soon as we're home, sir. These dents in my helmet aren't from police work. They're from the wife throwing things at me.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all.
Gasp. You mean Mrs. Beate lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I fell asleep. I mean, I had to stay awake and really watch for a lot longer than I thought I would. I nearly missed our restaurant appointment, reservation. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm a Bobby. I make appointments. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes. But my darling was gone for a good 15.
Oh, Rowley, you're such a tease.
I'm not teasing you, Pat. I'm just stating
It's actually quite irritating, especially when I'm waiting for dinner.
I'm actually just stating a fact to the court.
But the reason I was gone so long because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? What?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Yeah, what bouquet are you talking about?
It was a present for our wedding anniversary. Oh, Rowley, so romantic.
I am?
He saved up for it with 5 rupees and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yeah, I mean, some might call it theft, but I call it let's look after the pennies. Well, look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves or whatnot, whatever.
Finders keepers.
That's it.
Yes! How romantic!
I've forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Yeah, in fact, I've got absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Pat. yes. But that was just between us. Remember? No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Beate looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beate about the bouquet.
Mrs. Beate, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Oh, yes, I'd love to.
No, Pat, I've just told you no.
Oh, shut up, Rowley. What happened was, I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Wow, we have to press a
Jesus
lot of
Christ.
follow-up statements. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset.
I mean, is it going to turn out that the bouquet was made up of 4 books?
A bouquet.
And a knife.
And a knife.
A bouquet, if you will.
Ooh.
When we ran over and I saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rowley gave me.
He was so cross with me.
It was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on?
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
Oh.
No, so someone moved. Okay.
Someone moved it.
So it wasn't her who moved it. Well, assuming that she's telling the truth. In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beate, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
That's right. Silly me, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there, I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow managed to move from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rowley bought me, with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By
It was a single flower.
Yeah.
by bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose?
Oh, yes! Yes, that's it!
Oh my goodness, how on earth did you find that there?
That's the bouquet Rowley bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose. After all, a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet.
Tell us, Lord Van Zieks, where did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garadeb household.
Uh-huh. In front of the Garadeb's house.
Although, It wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
I'm afraid it's evidence, madam. No. I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back.
Ow, Pat! Oh, good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beate.
Good.
Okay, so I guess... did we press this? We have pressed this one in the end. Yes.
Yes.
So, okay, so I guess we've got everything we need now then. So we have the rose and we have the book.
Nothing strange to report on that front.
I mean...
It's very stylish paper the flower's wrapped in, isn't it?
It's...
Hold on a minute! That looks like the paper I wrapped my chips in!
Wait a moment. Mr. Gregson?
That's my chip paper! You give it back right now, you thief!
Mr. Gregson from Scottish Yard? What are you doing here?
I want my chip paper back, boy!
It's...
There's still salt and vinegar on there!
I'm saving that for later so I can suck it out.
Ew.
It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Ah, Susato-san, you do love your cakes.
Yes.
Hamburgers.
An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower.
Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before.
Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least.
Gosh, 3?
Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
Perhaps you should... Perhaps you should consider branching out?
But
Learning that some aren't fruit tree based, for example.
Okay, nothing on there.
Well, I'm very glad that we spent time investigating that.
So of course, I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. So...
I feel like what we've got, there has to be some way, because what seems like happened then is when Rolly sent Pat off to contact the police box, or to find the police box, he moved it because he didn't want the crime scene to be on his beat. So, I'm wondering if the rose on this statement where it's like there was nothing out of the ordinary, because presumably if she dropped the rose or dropped the bouquet, that would have stood out? That's the only thing I can think of.
I just...
Caused Mrs. Beate to drop the rose where she stood.
You dropped the bouquet.
You mean you dropped the...
Sorry, because I thought we've read through this.
Yeah, we have.
When we ran over, I saw the one with the knife in the back. I was so shocked. It was in the dark, so I didn't notice it first. And then I went to the police box to report it. It was nowhere near the victim's body at all. Gone over to the wrong side of the street. Well, unless maybe this is a thing. Maybe... Well, unless maybe she doesn't have a bad sense of direction after all, and it's because he'd moved it.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you make of all this?
I believe that we're in something of a thorny predicament, Mr. Sato.
God.
Yes.
No, not Dr. Hearty.
The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. But I'm not going to tell the people playing what that is. The fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garrideb was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair.
Okay.
Did you hear that? I said we have everything we need to strike a decisive blow.
If anything...
No further investigation is necessary to strike a decisive blow.
Trusty rolling will make sure nothing was disturbed. What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way. Oh, for God's sake! Sorry, I was. Yeah. Blah 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 blah.
Is it? Is it his book with the whole like he can't do things outside of his beat?
Maybe.
And she, yeah, like you said, she hasn't lost a sense of direction at all.
Well, hang on. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front. How? But then,
I mean, I would think the rose would be strange.
But because that's the thing, isn't it? She said that when she came back, the rose was not where she expected. Well, wasn't with the victim.
Well,
So,
But she dropped it where the victim
so the
was.
victim
So
moved.
surely...
So he should have seen the victim move.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Byakusha.
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 Byakuya.
You claim, Constable Beate, that there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean by... What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beate, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet that you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection! Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Wow, you have no heart.
Meager?
Well, I know, it's a vampire.
Objection! But if that were the case, why did Constable Beate not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beate swore to that on Scotland Yard's honour. But the bouquet belonged to me. It had nothing to do with the case. That's why Rowley didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way round.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beate's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrideb's book.
His book.
His book.
Book.
His book.
Book? I didn't
No,
say
you didn't.
book.
I'm just saying book. It's just me.
Oh, I thought I had said book.
No,
I was like,
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
think I didn't
No.
think I didn't think I did that.
I think I said it like that. No, you didn't. It's all good. Sorry.
Mr. Garrideb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window.
The
I'm
top
sorry, of the
hinged
top
casement
hinged
window.
case. Yep. and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet... By God! How did you move the X after I'd already inked it on the paper? What devilry is this?
Burn him!
Your Honor, I decry him a witch. Throw him into the lake and see if he floats. And if he does, he is a witch. If he drowns, he is a goodly Christian man.
We're not playing Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Like, no. That's a different game entirely.
No, different method. Toss him upon the scales of fire and
yes,
watch him burn.
Yes.
It was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beate's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact...
Witchcraft!
My goodness! He's done it! He's done it again!
Oh my goodness.
What is this sorcery?
It was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things.
It turns out that outside the house, they've got like a massive sort of like, what do you call it, like turntable thing on the road. You know, like what they used to turn trains around. Like the whole outside of the street is like one big like circle thing that rotates.
God.
Unless somebody deliberately moved them.
Dun,
Oh
dun,
my
dun.
goodness, no. Oh,
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rowley's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Whittering on about books and bouquets like why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Oh, good. Mrs. Garrideb's come round. I'm so delighted. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrideb. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offence. It's called, Mr. Sato, help.
Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Subtle, really.
Hey, look.
Subtle.
Objection! Tampering? You've barely heard the term before.
That's what I have Mr. Zato for in a
Tell-
little book.
Tell us, my learned friend, who could possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception?
Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. But before you do, it'd probably be a wise idea to just pop in a little safety save, just in case, you know, you accidentally make some kind of error in judgment. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
Mr. Roly-Poly.
Mrs. Garrideb.
Dick Gumshoe!
Dick Gumshoe.
Take that! Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. I'm sure we all know who it is, Bod. Constable Roly Beate, it was you!
What? A policeman? A member of Scottish Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Rowley do something like that?
And now we can use the pamphlet that he gave us.
There's no one straighter than my husband. Nobody works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Stop it.
Mrs. Beate? You said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies.
Yeah, you tell him, Pat. It's all rubbish.
What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection! If that was true, Constable Beate would have seen him do it. Do it. Do it.
And forgive me for pointing it out, But when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs Beate, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well...
Objection!
First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife. Now, you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. To hide something.
That's right! It is right! But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all! So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense!
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Constable Beate had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
But
I don't know. Well,
has he managed to solve the mystery? I'm afraid we'll have to find out next time.
Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease!
Because we've run out of time, everybody. So, so if you like what we do and you want to find out what happens, why don't you stick around? Hit that like button, drop a comment down below about your favorite bits, your worst bits, I don't know, or you want to just engage in conversation, it's fine. Hit the subscribe button so that you can catch the next episode and find out just what the heck is going on, and don't forget to ring the bell, otherwise you might miss it.
That's true.
And with that, we're gonna be going. We're gonna vamoose, disappear.
See you later.
Skedaddle.
And until next time, make sure that you have an ample supply of vomit buckets, because you don't want to run out when you need one most.